Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nadifa Almarlin, and today I want to explain about linguistic landscape study at Museum Bank Indonesia, Jakarta. And first, I want to explain about table of content. Chapter 1, Introduction, and Chapter 2, Related Study, Review Structure, and Oriental Framework. And the Chapter 3 is Research Methodology. Now I want to explain Chapter 1, Introduction. The term linguistic landscape describes how different linguists are visible and present in public areas. The included written communication on signs, billboard, commercials, and informational display, among other things. It reflects power structure, particular community. The goal of linguistic landscape study to environment like highlighting the connection between language and identity as well as associated value and attitudes towards other language because of this linguistic landscape are essential for comprehending the social and cultural structure of a particular place in addition serving as communication tools. And the next statement of the problems. The first question is what language replies are found on the signs at Museum Bank Indonesia, Jakarta? And the second, how is the linguistic landscape used in Museum Bank Indonesia? So the scope and limitation is linguistic landscape, all signs in Museum Bank Indonesia, Jakarta. All of the language that are written on the site will be included in the study with focus on English and Indonesian among the other language qualitative distribution. The many languages used in the science combined with a qualitative study of the linguistic qualities. And the next four goals of the study is number one, describe the construction of the linguistic landscape in Museum Bank Indonesia, Jakarta, and the second to describe linguistic landscape are displayed in Museum Bank Indonesia, Jakarta. And the next function of the study, the first to develop the experience and ability of the writer in study, to provide knowledge and information to the readers about linguistics, and the last to give additional information for other researcher who wants to. And the systematic presentation is chapter 1 is overview the linguistic environment, and the chapter 2 the museum historical background, and the chapter 3 multilingualism and linguistics. And the next chapter is chapter 2 on to discuss about related study, review literature, and historical framework. Related study, the first previous research was done by Megawati Rustan and Sari Nenizlapi 2023 from Universitas Negeri Makassar with the study Unsolid Function Linguistic Landscape Pulau Kombuno Kabupaten Sinjai Perspective Andre and Borges 1997. The researchers focus on realizing of linguistic items and describe the linguistic item in Pulau Kombuno, Kabupaten Sinjai. In the approach, they was using descriptive qualitative method. The result of the study is bilingual English and Indonesian, which becomes the dominant language. Also, they found out the reason of this. Linguistic items was displayed as English as international language to facilitate local and international visitors. to attract the visitors. And the second previous research was done by Erna Adrianti from Universitas Negeri Jakarta with the study Etilit Linguistic Landscape at Jakarta Senior High School in multilingual context patterns and representation. His research focused on at describing and explaining in the school linguistic landscape a social language phenomenon that existed naturally at educational environment using a social linguistic approach and qualitative method. Its research was intended to revolve the linguistic landscape science pattern to relation to the language. The result of the study used English, Arab, Thailand, and dominant language, and she is gave the reason about all sign in this paper. So next, review literature. This section contains of the theoretical explanation of linguistic landscape. In addition, this study also focused on the use in linguistic landscape with the theory of study which can support the data analyzing used by Landry and Borges in 1997 in the linguistic landscape at the Museum Bank in Jakarta tourist destination. And the next, to explain about linguistic landscape. Linguistic landscape refers the visible display of written language in public space, comprehending the signs, posters, billboards, street names, advertisement, and other written forms of communication that are found in a particular environment. It focused on how language are represented in the public domain, offering insight into the social linguistic characteristic of a place such as language or multilingualism and power relation, declares that the language develops in character in the public place such as general road signs, billboards, street names, store names, schools, tourists, attraction, and the museum is a linguistic landscape. And the next function of linguistic landscape, um, Nash in 2019 conveyed linguistic landscape ideas signs in the landscape are illustrative texts which can be read, photographed, parboiled, and linguistically and culturally dissected. Therefore, the linguistic landscape can serve as a basis for understanding the impact of the foreign language on a given location. This can lead people to conclude how strong following bilingual and multilingual are in associated signs of literal and considerate message that can be read, photographed, and examining from a linguistic landscape perspective. And next, uh, in addition, it can be concluded that the linguistic landscape study function as a provider of of information on language as science in the public space and show the dominant language in the place. The edition launched in Borges in 1997 proposed that the linguistic landscape has two basic functions, which are called intermission function and symbol function. The next type of language displayed. Linguistic landscape has several functions to describe the meaning of language written and in various ways. The first function is that language can be used in various ways. The second function is that language is written from can be seen in how the linguistic landscape is despised. In addition, the characteristic of language is also in written form that is displayed in the public space, such as monolingualism, bilingualism, and multilingualism. According to Letter, um, 2006, a sign is depicted in written or image to refer to the language in the linguistic landscape. Type of linguistic type of language display. The first monolingual, second bilingual, and the third multilingual. Monolingual. Indonesia has a diversity of language, one of which is Indonesian, and one language, namely monolingual, as the first language. Monolingual refers to the use or knowledge of only one language. A person who monolingual speaks, understands, and society or context. One where only one language is predominantly used in everyday communication, education, media, and government. And the next, bilingual. Bilingualism refers to the ability to use and understand two languages proficiently. It can be to individual, community, or social. Their two languages are spoken and understood. And the next is multilingual. Multilingualism refers to the ability to use to understand more than two languages. A multilingual person, community, or society is one that employs three or more languages for communication, whether in everyday conversation, education, business, or other aspects of social life. Museum Bank Indonesia. The Bank Indonesia City building was previously used by the Japanese bank, a building that has designated the building as a cultural heritage building according to decree of government of the Jakarta. As the theoretical homework in the study, a writer applied voluntary Boris 1987 theory of linguistic landscape, focusing on the feasibility and sounds to language of urban space, specifically at Museum Bank Indonesia in Jakarta. And the next for chapter 3 is research methodology and the approach of the study, and this study is qualitative methods as a research approach according to Edmonds and Kennedy in 2019. Data collection structure and validity in social and educational research. Qualitative methods are distinguished by their collection and system of information in a largely non-qualitative way. And the next data sources. Data sources study was taken from the science located in Museum Bangladesh in Jakarta. The image capture of language are used in Museum Bangladesh in Jakarta, including signs, information displays, and interpretive material both in Indonesian and English. By focusing on how linguistic is visually represented through the museum. The photograph provides a valuable insight the role of language in shaping of the museum communicative environment and its cultural and education functional. The writer photographs as a primary source of data, referring a direct representation of the museum bank in the region. And data collection, the writer performs several steps they get appropriate research data. The first, the writer visit the museum bank in Jakarta to observe existing signs. The second, after the writer took the picture of the signs. And the third, The writer arranged the edge image based on music landscape and theory on Jabari's 1987. And then as for data analyzed, in analyzing the data, the writer used descriptive method. Descriptive method are used to represent the picture with theoretical and systematic. This analyzed Borges' 1987 theory of hash to show the type of function of the signs on the linguistic landscape in the public space. And now, thank you for watching. My name is Nadifa Almarlin, and thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.